بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيت الأطهار الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر. ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر، تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر، سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. وَلَا الْعَمَى عَنْ سَبِيلِكَ. O Allah, test me not with blindness during my journey on your path. Another beautiful segment of Dua Makarimul Akhlaq by our fourth Imam, Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. Which is this dua, and every segment of this dua should be read regularly and on a daily basis, and to keep remembering these segments. Because when we remember and we try every day, it's possible we can print it or write it on a sticky note. Every day, one of these segments that we have discussed. When you read those segments, if you put it on your dashboard and just remembering it again, other hadith that we have talked and the verses of Quran comes to your mind, and it will be a good reminder for us to be what the Imam taught us to be. وَلَا الْعَمَى عَنْ سَبِيلَكَ. O Allah, test me not with blindness. Being blind, in two ways we can be blind: losing eyesight or losing insight. Both of them are very, very important. But Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam is referring to insight rather than eyesight. For us to be on the right path, for us to find the truth, for us to follow the right path and be steadfast by the truth, we don't necessarily need the eyesight, but we definitely need the insight. There are people that are blind physically, but they are on the right path. They are following the right path. Maybe they become blind later on, but still we see Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salam, respect them because of the insight that we have. And we know a very great individual within history by the name of Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari. The one who came and visited the shrine of the grave of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and by one of the people who started this mission, who started this journey of Arba'in, was Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari. He was blind, but he told his maid, just get me close to the grave of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, I can find the rest. I can smell the fragrance of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein even from his grave. He didn't have eyesight, but he had insight. Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah. Eyesight, basar. Insight, basira. That we have to make sure we keep asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, keep my insight alive and test me not with blindness of insight. Unfortunately, we see some people within the community, they see but they don't see. They hear, but they don't hear. Allah talks about these group of people in chapter 7, verse 179, Surah Al-A'raf. وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لا يسمعون بها أولئك كالأنعام بل هم أضل أولئك هم الغافلون. Allah says, certainly we have created for hell many of the jinn and humans. They have hearts with which they do not understand. They have eyes with which they do not see. They have ears with which they do not hear. They are like cattle. Rather, they are more astray. It is they who are the headless. People who came on the day of Ashura fighting the Imam of their time. They saw the Imam. They heard the Imam. But they didn't see the Imam. They didn't hear the Imam. People who were with Rasulullah, they saw the Prophet, they heard the Prophet, but they didn't see the Prophet. They didn't hear the Prophet. Why? We come at the end because they didn't want to hear. They didn't want to listen. As I given this example before, we tell our kids, for example, they did something wrong. We go to them and tell them, okay, how many times I told you don't do it? He said, okay, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. We say, did you hear me? They say, yeah, we did hear you. We say, no, did you hear me? Meaning, did you understand what I just said? I know that you have your earring and you have your ears and you are hearing me, but did you understand what I want you to do? Another verse of Quran that talks about basira, insight. Chapter 12, Surah Yusuf, verse 108. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. Say, O Prophet, say, this is my way. I summon to Allah with insight, I and he who follows me. We have to be from the people of insight. We have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us on the right path from the people of insight. We have to have this basira awaken. Some people, their basira is blind. It goes years and years and years. We see, they read a book, they hear a lecture, the inside is turned on. They become aware. They convert. They follow the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the path of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. We have one of them within this community. At age 75, he was not the follower of Ahlul Bayt, and he was an imam of another path. Until age 75, his insight was not there. When we say وَلَا الْعَمَى عَنْ سَبِيلَكَ, his insight was blind, either intentionally or unintentionally. قاصر or مقصر, which we have talked about these two words. Did he had the means or he did not have the means? Age 75, couple of things happen, couple of stories comes back to his mind, and he researches and researches. He finds the path of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Then he accepts. His insight guided him to the path of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. He takes it and he takes all the problems and difficulties that comes with it. And he went to one of our scholars, great scholars in Qom, and that scholar told him, and that scholar told me the same thing. He said, I told him, are you ready for difficulties? Get yourself ready for it. And as we have said, being, accepting, telling the truth, following Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam is not going to be easy. We have been killed since the time of Rasulullah, and we are going to be killed all the way until the reappearance of the Imam, which we do salawat. May Allah hasten his reappearance. Alaykum as-salam. So we want to be from the people of basira, from the people of insight, and this insight to keep it always alive, and always to see and to hear, because the day that this insight dies, the day that this insight becomes blind, that's the day that we're going to go astray. We're not going to see the truth anymore. We're not going to be on the right path. we're going to be misguided as soon as this insight dies and becomes blind. That's why Imam in this beautiful dua teaches us to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh Allah, test me not with blindness while I am on your path and your journey." Because there are a lot of elements that are giving hand in hand together to deviate us from within our own faith and from outside our faith to misguide the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So what are the characteristics of people of insight? How can we know that we are from those people or not? All of our questions. The problem that we have when we have questions, we don't go to the people to ask, which are the right people, which are Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. We don't go to them. We don't. We try to find poets. We try to find philosophers. We try to find the answers within the thinkers, modern thinkers. We don't go to teachings of Ahlul Bayt because that teaching is old. We don't say it verbally, but when we give value to the words of these poets and the other poet and this philosopher and the other philosopher and this thinker and that thinker, means we haven't given value to the words of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Oh Ahlul Bayt, I want to know what are the characteristics of people of insight. Our first Imam, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, he gives us the characteristics. And this hadith is in the book of Tuhaf al-Uqul, which I have mentioned a couple of nights. You can download the PDF, go and research Tuhaf al-Uqul. Has ahadith from every Imam, series of ahadith. That's it. Translated, a very good translation also. We don't have any excuse. Well, Sheikh, all of these sources are in Arabic and Farsi and Urdu. No, this book is in English. For the one who wants to find the truth, there is no excuse. He or she will be able to find it if they want. If they, are you guys with me? If they want. But if they don't want, there are 1,000 excuses there, and which alhamdulillah, majority of people have PhDs in excuses. قال الإمام علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام فإنما البصير, indeed the person of insight, من سمع, number one, وتفكر, number two, ونظر, number three, وأبصر, number four, وانتفع بالعبار, five things. Let me see if these are within me or not. Indeed, the person of insight is the person who, number one, listens, pays attention. We are very good speaker and talker, but when it comes to listening, we don't. When we get into dialogue and discussion and conversation, we try to always prove our point. Just calm down, listen. You have an argument with your wife, your husband, your brother, your kids, your friends, your relatives, your classmates, your colleagues, whomever. Let the other person talk also. Unfortunately, we see, and I've seen it very recently, everywhere, every gathering we go, and there's a discussion about religion, faith, ahkam, akhlaq, Quran, deen, whatever it is, politics. One cuts the other person. They don't let the person to complete his statement, and then for the other person to give his opinion. Cut. I went to a scholar in London, may Allah prolong his life. MashaAllah. Somebody came and argued against him. His alim, his ayatollah, argued against him very, very aggressively. And this Sayyid, he had his head down. He listened completely. And this person was talking against him very aggressively. And he's calm, listen. He told him, you finished? He said, no, Sayyid, I want to continue. He said, okay. As soon as he finished, he said, okay, you finished? He said, yes. Sayyid started talking 2 words. He started talking. He said, respectfully, you said you're finished. Right now, you're going to let me finish my statement and then you can argue. We're not going to go back and forth, and then raise our voice because we are not letting the other person talk. He is screaming and I want my voice, and then I scream and back and forth. Imam says the people of insight are those who listen, number one. So that becomes an action plan. Everywhere we should listen. Quran talks about people of hellfire. They are communicating with people of heaven. People of heaven tell them, what happened to you? He said, unfortunately, we did not listen and we did not use our intellect. These two words are in Quran about the people of hellfire. We did not listen and we did not use our intellect. Imam says the person of insight, of basira, listens, then ponders, thinks. Maulana said such and such statement. MashaAllah, very good. Let me think a little bit about it. Is this what he's saying is right or no? None of us are infallible standing behind this podium or sitting on this minbar. We try our best to come and say what we think is right, but we might be wrong. Because Maulana said it is 100% right. Who said so? Or because Maulana said it is definitely wrong. Who said so? I have to ponder, think. Listen, number one. Ponders, number two. And thinks, number three. And understands, number four. And learns a lesson. Don't we see within the Quran, Allah brings us the stories after stories. For what? For us to learn a lesson. For us to learn a lesson. Today, for those people who read chapter 13 of Quran and chapter 12 yesterday, Surah Yusuf, it's in it. That when a person came from the opposite sex, Prophet Yusuf ala nabina wa alayhi salam, and Zulaykha, she came and she locked the doors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She said, come in, I'm ready for you. We read this story, and I have read the story, and I read Quran. I get into a room and there is the opposite sex with me in the room. I say, God, the doors are closed. I don't know what to do. The haram is there. I don't have nothing else to do. What does Prophet Yusuf say and do? He said, Ma'adallah. He seeks refuge to Allah. He didn't just say, okay, astaghfirullah, a'udhu billah min ash-shaytan ar-rajim, I cannot do anything. He ran toward the door while it was locked. By the time he got to the door was unlocked for him by the miracles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah saw that he put the effort. He doesn't want to commit the sin. He ran toward the door, even though it was locked. First, ma'adallah, and then run away from sin. I know I'm sitting right now in a room, nobody's there. I can't commit a sin with all of these devices that I have. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. A'udhu billah min ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Let me look at this website. A'udhu billah min ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Allah told us in Quran, why didn't you understand? I said, say ma'adallah and run away. Don't stand there. Don't sit there when sin comes to you. Don't sit. Get away from that area. Get away from that situation. Just get away. Don't sit. Because shaitan comes again and again and again and again and again until he makes you do it. Think to yourself. He never come from the first point and leave you alone. No, he comes in your mind. He says it, he says it, he says it, he says it. He keeps saying it until you do it. Well, let me get out of this area. Let me go be with some other people. Number one, listens. Number two, ponders, thinks, understands, and learn lesson. فإنما البصير من سمع وتفكر ونظر وأبصر وانتفع بالعبر وسلك جددا واضحا يتجنب فيه الصرعة في المهوى ويتكنب طريق العمى. What a beautiful hadith we have. And Imam says he takes a clear course that saves him from falling behind and evades the path of misguidance. I hear lectures, I listen, Ramadan finishes, all of these lectures, well, mashallah, very good. Then we just start our life. We continue our life the way that we started Ramadan. That's not what the people of insight do. They take notes, they understand, they learn, they listen. So this basira, this insight can stay alive. So right now, we want to get to these characteristics. We want to be on the right path and to be people of insight. What can we do? 2 conditions, or 3. First condition, to be amongst the people of insight. As we said, we have to want. If we want, we say in Farsi, for those who speak Farsi, they will understand, khastan, tawanistan. And we have the same thing in English. If you want, if you will, if you will, there's a way. But if you will, if I want, and how many stories I have from people, this is what I used to do a long time ago. I used to make documentaries about the life of reverts. And I met a lot of them, hundreds of them. They wanted. And Allah showed them the path. We're already in it. We have some glimpse of it, of this beautiful religion. Why don't we go more and more? I say, oh Allah, I want more from this path. I want to get to know you more. I want to get to know Ahlul Bayt more. I want to get to know Ahkam more. I want to know the Akhlaq of Ahlul Bayt more. If I want, then Allah shows me the path and I put the effort. I want $1 million, but I'm just going to sit. No. Allah says, make the intention, put the effort, and I will provide. This beautiful verse, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Indeed, surely, definitely, we will show the path to whom who strive in us. I want this insight with all of these harams that I'm being surrounded with all of these isms, with all of these school of thought within our own faith, with every scholar say such and such and such and such. I want to know what is the truth. People, youth come to me, Sheikh, it's like, Sheikh, I see this scholar, this Sayyid says such thing, and this Sheikh or this Sayyid says such thing. They contradict one another. I don't know what is right and what is wrong. I don't know what to do. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and put the effort to get to know the truth. We hear some controversial points, a Maulana, a Zakir, a speaker makes, and then we hear another controversial point, another Maulana, another Zakir, another speaker makes, and we just take it. These questions just get into our mind and just keep bugging us and bugging us. We don't go find the answer. We don't go find the truth ourselves and research. One question, second question, third question, fifth doubt, another doubt, and doubt, and doubt. Slowly we see, remember the example of phone and charging, we see our iman is losing battery. Slowly. But we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we have to want. Chapter 81, verse 27 and 28, Surah Al-Takwir. إِن هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ لِمَنْ شَاءَ مِنْكُمْ أَنْ يَسْتَقِيمَ. It is just a reminder. This book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just a reminder for all the nation, for those of you who wishes to be steadfast. لِمَنْ شَاءَ مِنْكُمْ أَنْ يَسْتَقِيمَ. If you want to be steadfast, then this Quran will be for you. But if you don't, this Quran can be a source of misguidance for the people who have already been misguided, claiming that they are following the verses of Quran, but they are completely away from Quran. Why? Because they didn't want and they didn't read the Quran, they didn't listen to Quran, they didn't ponder about the verses of Quran that talks about Ahlul Bayt, they didn't ponder, think, understand, learn, and they continue. Allah shows us the guidance. Why? Because وَلِلَّهِ الْحُجَّةُ الْبَالِغَةُ. It's a verse of Quran. Allah has the ultimate proof. Whatever we bring that Allah, I couldn't see, I couldn't read, I didn't have the means, Allah brings another person that he did not have the means. He's like, why? He was able to find the truth, and you, the one who followed, based on your parents, followed the religion of Islam until age of 20, 25, but there were questions and doubts in your mind. You didn't find the answer. You were misguided and you follow another path than the path of Ahlul Bayt. Why the other person was able and you were not able? Allah said, chapter 41, verse 17, Surah Fussilat. وَأَمَّا ثَمُودُ فَهَدَيْنَاهُمْ فَاسْتَحَبُّوا الْعَمَى عَلَى الْهُدَى. Ama, blindness. As for the people of Thamud, we guided them, but they preferred blindness to guidance. If we want, we'll find it. As we said in the beginning of the lecture, you accompany Rasulullah. You are the father-in-law of Rasulullah. If you want, you can be guided. You are the uncle of Rasulullah. You are the wife of Rasulullah. Doesn't matter. If you want, you can be guided. Even you come from Fars, from Iran, you become all the way from there, you become Minna Ahlul Bayt. All the way from there, miles and miles and miles from Iran, you become Salman al-Muhammadi. But if you don't want to, you are next to the Prophet, and we know what is the ending for you. We have to want. Abu Dhar al-Ghifari wanted. Salman al-Muhammadi wanted. Miqdad and Malik, they wanted. And Allah showed them the path. And they got it. But we have again, people within history, they didn't want. Even if you don't want, even Rasulullah's word and his lifestyle is not going to change you if you don't want. People, famous story within Quran, also the miracle. They came, Rasulullah said, okay, you tell me what kind of miracle you want, I'll do that miracle. They says, Prophet, oh Muhammad, how about you split the moon? Okay, let's go. Which mountain do you guys want to go? X mountain. Let's go on top of that mountain. Let's go up. You sure if I split the moon, you guys will believe in me? How much he did for people to believe in him, and people didn't. After him, how many? Handful of people. Handful of people. They just saw Rasulullah. Rasulullah was with them day before yesterday. What happened? Thursday he passed away. He departed this world. The same day what he did, Raziyat Yawm al-Khamis. What they did exactly on the same Thursday. And that Monday and a couple of days after that. What they did with the daughter of the Prophet. He goes up on the top of the mountain. He does dua, splits the moon. They said one more. How about you bring the two half, bring them back together. He brings them back together. Do you believe? Yes, while they're coming down, Shaitan comes and deviates them. When they get to the end of the mountain, what a magician you are. That insight, if Allah shows us the path, 1 sign, 2 signs, 3 signs, 10 signs, 100 signs, if we keep rejecting all of these signs for many years, then Allah says, خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ. Allah seals this inside. There is no more return for you. Go. Basically, now, in my word, Allah said, why should I waste my time with you? I showed you all of these signs. خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ. You are going to be misguided until the last day of your life. We have to be very careful. Many people were on the right path, but the ending, as we have said, they changed. And many people were on the wrong path. The last minute, last day, حُرِّبْنَ يَزِيدَ الرِّيَاحِ. Last day was for him from that side to this side. That insight was still. He showed his personality. When Imam tells him, may your mom cry on your dead body, he says, because your mother is Fatima al-Zahra, salamullah alayha, I'm not going to say anything. Still, a little bit of door is open in that insight. And scholars argue that was one of the reasons that he became to the path of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. So the first condition, we have to want. Second condition to be from and amongst the people of insight and on the right path, it's to ask question. After we read the hadith of Ahlul Bayt, I'm not sure which hadith is right, which hadith is wrong. I'm not sure which hadith is authenticated and which is not. I don't know where these people are getting their information from. Let me go and search myself. A sister came to me and she said about hijab. She said the word hijab is not in Quran. I told her, yes, you're right. But as we know Arabic language, One word can have many meanings, and many meanings can be in one word. So I went and I wanted to prove to her. She came and asked a question. Very good. She didn't go to her friends that she only read one verse of Quran. She hasn't read Quran cover to cover. She read the translation of Quran, not even the Quran itself. Translation, which I see many problems with the translation. I have to go through at least 8, 9 different translations to make sure I come up with the best translation of Quran. It says jalabib, jilbab. I go and I research. What is a jilbab? The meaning of jilbab. And it gives me I didn't know it myself. I went and I researched and I read. And I asked questions from those people who I think they might be able to guide me. 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. It's our deen. When we want to do open heart surgery, do we just go on yellow page? We don't have yellow pages. Go Google open heart surgeon. This guy has 5 star. Good. On Yelp, they have a good rating. Okay, inshallah, I'll go and I do my open heart surgery. I'm giving my body, my heart. I go, I make sure I research, I ask how many people they've done open heart surgery. Is it going to be successful? How many success he had? All of these research, and then I'm going to go give him my heart and my body. Who I'm giving my deen to? That is for dunya and akhirah. This deen is what is going to either save me, or this belief is what is going to get me to hellfire. When we ask question, and we go back to the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, and we have question, we should be within 4 categories. Number 1, there are a group of people that we should not be among them. They only ask question for the sake of argument. They just want to argue. They ask question, you answer something, they just want to argue and argue. And how many of these people I have met and I meet on a daily basis? For the sake of argument, there is no problem with arguing until I come to conclusion. But not for the sake of argument, I'm just going to argue. So we should not be from these people. Second group of people that we should not be amongst them, people come and they already have an answer in their mind. They want to validate their answer. And if they get answer different than their answer, they will be surprised. And they are not willing to accept that answer and implement it. So why ask from the beginning? If you didn't know, at least you can make this argument on the day of Qiyamah. Oh Allah, I didn't know. At least. But when you ask question and you already have answer in your mind and you're hoping that people validate this answer in your mind and they don't and you object, Allah says, well, you got to know it. What happened? The group that we should be amongst them, that they are trying to learn and clarify what they know. The other day we were talking and a brother asked question. Brother Haidar asked question while I was giving lecture. There's no problem with it. While I'm giving lecture, if a question comes in your mind, do ask. After lecture, ask. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ. Ask. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says ask. فَاسْأَلُوا. Ask. But not with the mindset that I already have a mindset. I want to see if this thing matches. If not, I'll object. With pure intention. Where I'm getting these characteristics is from the hadith. From hadith of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Let's have salawat by the name of the Imam. Imam says, Talabatul ilm thalathatun. Those who ask, acquire knowledge and ask question and they want to gain knowledge, they are within 3 groups of people. فَأَعْرِفْهُمْ بَأَعْيَانِهِمْ. Know them by their signs. وَصِفَاتِهِمْ, and their characteristic. Let me see which one of these applies to me. صِنْفٌ يَطْلُبُهُ لِلْجَهْلِ وَالْمِرَاءِ. First group of people, they ask question for ignorance and to show off. MashaAllah, what a good question he has. But they don't want to know the answer. Wow, what a good question he asked. MashaAllah to this question. But they only want to show off an ignorance. وَصِنْفٌ يَطْلُبُهُ لِلْإِسْتِطَالَةِ وَالْخَتْلِ. وَصِنْفٌ, The second group, they want to get closer to their knowledge so they can gain benefits for their worldly affairs. I want to have this knowledge, but I want to go to other people. I have this knowledge. Let's have some money so I can give you what I know as from knowledge. And the last, وَصَنْفٌ يَطْلُبُهُ لِلْفِقْهِ وَالْعَقْلِ. And the third group, they want to understand and they want to increase their intellect and knowledge. And Imam says, be amongst these, the third group of people. Summarize. We have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by the blessing of this dua that, oh Allah, test me not with blindness during my journey on your path. For this blindness not to occur, for us to keep this insight always wide open and obtain information on a daily basis, we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and strive. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and some people are with us. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and strive. We have to put the willing into it and want to be guided. No matter where I am on this, I can be deviated, or I might not be on the right path, exactly what Ahlul Bayt want me. In my aqidah, in my ahkam, in my akhlaq. These three important elements, which are Islam. Ahkam, aqaid, akhlaq. So this is the path Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed in front of me, path of Ahlul Bayt. I might be 1 degree away, but the more I keep going with the same mindset, after 10 years, I might be 100 degrees away from that path. So Allah, bring me back. That's why every day we say, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Because I get introduced to an idea that, for example, this thing is halal or this thing is haram, and it was the opposite. I got deviated. I started following that. Oh Allah, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Make sure you come bring me back. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. And we keep repeating and repeating. We say, but we don't strive. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to test us not with blindness toward His journey. Let's have a loud salawat. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه. Louder. وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. صلوات.